Today we're at the lathe to make a few small bowls. We're out of these small 6-inch bowls on our online store, so we're going to be building some inventory. I've got a hole here in the center already identified and drilled out for our wormwood screw, and I've got a rough diameter that I'm shooting for here on this bowl size. So let's get this blank mounted to the lathe and get started. We have our blank mounted and it's pretty secure here. We've got the tailstock up for some additional support, so I've just got my bowl gouge out. And we're just going to rough this out, get the bark off here, and then get a round shape, and then we'll start working from there. Alright, I want to clean off this bottom and start working back toward the rim of my bowl. So we're going to kind of rotate around here a little bit with our tool rest. I'll have to move the tailstock up here in just a second. To cut this away, it'll really won't be adding any support. So now I want to mark the bottom for my tenon, and in this case I'm going to use a 3.5-inch tenon. I always like to make my tenons about as large as I can make them. So halfway, measuring from the center point, is about 1 3/4. It's about the halfway point. So I just got to mark, see if we can get a mark all the way around. So that's where we want our tenon to be. So we'll kind of remove some material, identify that tenon, get that shaped, and then we can shape the rest of the bottom of the bowl. While we're turning, I do want to bring the tailstock back up and just keep support. When I'm using the wormwood screw, I do like to use the tailstock as much as I can. That just keeps from popping that bowl or stripping out that screw. That's the bulk of our tenon right there. We've got that rough shape. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out right here. And I want to get kind of a shoulder there as well. So we'll make sure I've got a nice flat spot there. The jaws I'm using, that we're going to be using here in a minute, have got a slight dovetail shape to them. So I'm going to use my skew chisel to help me form that dovetail and get right down in the bottom there. Just using this like a scraper, but it helps give me that little angle there. That'll help us there, and then I can get it nice and flat so that when we get the chuck on here, it's going to seat right here on the shoulder, grabbing those jaws. So it's going to register here, so it's nice and flat. So now we're just going to take from this point and we're going to shape off this corner out here to the rim. So now I just want to start working on the final shape of the outside of the bowl. And so really all I'm going to do is come down here from the shoulder, because I know the foot of the bowl is going to be right down in here. And then we're just going to start peeling this back until we get a nice curve, nice long continuous curve that links the diameter of our bowl out here on the rim down to the foot. Up here on the rim, I'm going to go ahead and start getting a little closer to my final size. So I've got some material to take off here, but that'll help me visualize the curve we're shooting for. Alright, so we're back from the sharpening station with a nice sharp bowl gouge. We're just going to finish working on the outside of this bowl. If you have any questions on sharpening, check out the video above, and it kind of goes through how I sharpen most of my tools. Now, one of the things that does help, we will get better cuts if we work from the bottom of the bowl out to the rim. Because as we're making these cuts, the fibers, the wood fibers, are supported by the next layer. When we're cutting this direction from the rim down, from large to small, we start getting tear out down here. So as I'm shaping this way, you can see how rough this surface is. So I'm just going to come back a little bit with just kind of a scraping motion and just clear that up just a little bit. That'll give us a little bit of a better surface finish. I'm still removing a fair amount of material, but that'll reduce our sanding later. It'll make it a lot easier. Now I've got a curve like I like it. And the bottom's not in too bad a shape. So we've got our bowl flipped around. We're getting ready to hollow out the center. We've got that tenon back here in our 4-jaw chuck, so it's nice and secure. But before we just start hollowing the inside of the bowl, I want to drill a depth hole. And I use this little shop-made jig. It's just basically a little scrap piece with a dowel rod in it. And there's two reasons I like to drill depth holes. One is it helps me avoid making funnels out of my bowls. That's one thing. And then the other thing too, it helps me get a consistent wall thickness. So I know the depth at the bottom. In this case, I want the wall thickness to be around 3/8 of an inch. I like to make these bowls so that they're pretty useful. We may end up being closer to 1/4. We may be a little thinner than that up here. But by having that depth hole, so I know where I'm going down here in the bottom, it just makes it easier to create a consistent wall thickness from the rim all the way down into the bottom of the bowl. So that's another reason why I like to drill depth holes. All right, there's nothing really fancy about this measurement. We've just got the depth here indicated here on our shop jig, and I'm just going to line that up with my Forstner bit over here, and I've just got a little bit of blue tape, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball that, get that tape about at the depth, and we'll just put that on there, and then we'll just drill down to the tape, and then we're ready to go. All right, we've got the tailstock out of the way. We're going to start hollowing. Got our bowl gouge back out. So now we're just going to kick it on. We've got the speed kicked back up on the lathe to about 650, 680, that in that range. So we're just going to kick it on, work down to our bowl height, and then also our diameter while we're hollowing out. We're just going to work this edge down a little bit more. After refining the outside of the exterior of the bowl, I'm going to use my negative rake scraper just to refine this edge just a little bit. All I'm looking for is just I don't want to change the shape, just want to smooth it out. These really fine little shavings, that's what I'm looking for. Just trying to smooth and blend the surface, get rid of any stray tool marks we might have. So as I work closer to the outside edge here, I'm going to start paying more attention to the shape of the inside of the bowl. So what I'll end up doing is kind of get over here where I can see the curvature of the exterior, and I'm just going to kind of follow that with my gouge. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I may take one more small pass and just try to get this cleaned up a little bit with the bowl gouge, and then we're going to refine it just a little bit. Alright, so I've got my heavy duty bowl scraper here. It's all sharpened, ready to go. Got the tool rest in place. So we're just going to work down the rest of the material, this waste material, out of the inside of the bowl. Need to add just a little depth down here in the bottom, and that's going to work for us in this case because we're doing a foot. Because we've got a foot on our bowl, we've got some extra material in there right now. I can come in here and make that slightly deeper. Remember, we measured to about 3/8 of an inch in the bottom, and we did about roughly 1/4 out here on the rim. So it makes some sense that we would need to adjust that just a little bit. Alright, we've got our negative rake scraper out and sharpened. So we're just going to make a couple passes, just light passes, to get rid of some of the extra tool marks that we've got here, kind of get this smoothed out. surfaces of our bowl as smooth as we can get it with the negative rake scraper, it's time to switch over to sanding. I always like to power sand. Here I'm using an air-powered die grinder, and I've got a little quick connect fitting there in the end, and it allows me to get through the grits really pretty quickly. So on this bowl, we're starting out at 100 grit, and we're going to progress through our grits up to about 320. When I've got the outside of the bowl sanded, we'll switch over here to the inside. I do have the lathe running in reverse, so going toward the wall at about 325 RPMs. And that also kind of helps direct that dust that it's kicking off into the dust collector there on the right hand side of the screen also. And while you can't see it there in the screen, I do have my respirator on, which is one of the reasons why we're doing a voiceover instead of narrating this as we're sanding. So we're done sanding, and we've got our bowl mounted here on our coal jaws on our scroll chuck. The last thing to do is to work away our tenon and form the foot on the bowl. Now you can see here I've got quite a bit of material I need to remove. As we reduce the diameter down, we did reshape the outside, so I've got a little bit of work here to do. And I've already identified, I want my base to be about just over 2 inches at about 2 1/4. So I've identified where that's going to be, and so I'm just going to use this small 3/8 inch bowl gouge to kind of come in here and work away the foot and get this all blended in. So I usually use, this is the tool, I use this tool for this purpose the most. It's effective, but it's not super aggressive. And that's the important thing. So in this case, I've got this extra material down here. So I'm going to take this tenon basically down to that. And then we'll start working away the rest of the foot. So that's basically where I want my foot. It's about that spot right there. So I'm going to work this outside edge away. We're going to have to blend that, as you can see, in order to kind of continue our art. So we're getting closer. And the closer I get, I'm going to work closer to the foot. Okay. Now I need to work back a little. So here we're just going to peel this off. I know I've got my diameter, so I'm just going to use this as a scraper, getting good efficient cuts. Power sander back out. We're just going to go run through the grits really quickly, just like we did on the rest of the bowl, and get the exterior kind of blended in and the bottom sanded up really nice. We're going to start making a ton of noise. I'm going to put on the respirator. We'll see when this is done. And just like that, we're done turning our small bowl, and it's ready for finish. Now this bowl doesn't have a lot of really unique features or anything like that going on, so I'll probably add some color to the outside of this bowl. I tend to wander into primary colors and bright, vibrant colors most of the time, but I'd love to hear your opinions on what color I should add to the bowl. So just drop me some colors in the comments section, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what colors are suggested. The one that's most popular, that's what we'll try to go with. I should be able to mix up most any color we want, so just drop it in the comments. We'll take a very unscientific poll, and then make sure you subscribe to the channel also, so that, and I'll drop some pictures of this when it's finished with whatever that color turns out to be, and hopefully we can get this one added to our online store in whatever unique color you guys suggest. So let me know. Make sure you subscribe so you can see how this turns out, and we'll see you next time.